Can I help you with something?
I'm Amy Williams. I'm the housekeeper.
I'm sorry, the what?
Amy, I hope you found the place okay. You can get started upstairs, and you go straight down the hallway, and it's the first staircase to your right.
Thank you, Mrs. Irving.
Oh, please, dear, call me Nicole.
All right, Nicole. Nice to meet you.
Dr. Irving.
Right, Dr. Irving.
Passed out on the couch again? Seriously, you couldn't even make it upstairs to the guest room?
You hired a housekeeper? What the hell for?
Because this place looks like trash.
Why should you care? Your little boy toy's going to be coming and you're going to be playing house with him soon anyway.
Little boy, please. He's more of a man than you'll ever be.
Whoa.
In more ways than one. At least I don't have to fake it with him.
So he's a man now? Really? When did this happen?
Look, I need to go to work. I don't have time for this.
And I do? I'm expecting a new patient this morning.
A patient coming here?
Well,
Since when do we see patients at our house?
It's a very unique case. It's a very unique case. It was done to a special program with the state. I figured it'd be better to do here. It's a more intimate setting.
Oh, yes. This place just screams intimacy. I told Amy to stay upstairs so she won't bother you.
That is beside the point. Now answer me. Why the hell did you hire a housekeeper when you're moving out? You changed your mind, didn't you? Son of a...
I told you, don't give me that. I told you that it wasn't definite that Zach and I were going to move in together.
What you're telling me is that you are going to stay here now? After all the countless hours of bad-mouthing this place and all the apartment searching that you did with that little sack of crap, you're going to stay here?
Yes, I want to stay here. Why should I have to move out? Zach says you should move out, and I completely agree.
Oh, so now he's telling me what I should do with my life. Your little boy toy never ceases to amaze me with his infinite wisdom.
Bottom line is, I want the house, and you want the house. So, it looks like we're selling it. That is, unless you want to buy me out. Oh, wait, you don't have enough money to buy me out, so I guess we're going to sell it.
I cannot believe this. Jesus Christ Almighty.
Excuse me, Nicole?
Yes, dear?
Did you want the towels in the bathroom changed?
Oh, don't worry about that, sweetie. I've already changed them.
Okay, just checking.
I figured it would come to this. That's why I hired Amy. Because I sure as hell don't have the time to make this place presentable for a while.
Of course. Because you always think ahead, don't you? Did you ever think that everything I need, all my files, all my records, are here? I'm going to have to relocate everything now.
This is my house too, you know. It's not easy for me.
Oh, please, everything I need for my career is here. The only thing you want and need out of this place is a mattress upstairs.
Don't you dare talk to me like that. You know, I'm willing to sell. But if you don't want to sell it, then I don't know what we're going to do. But I'm willing to sell it, and you ought to be grateful that I'm willing to sell it, because I can make this whole thing a hell of a lot worse. Now, I need to go to work, and you need to get ready for your patient.
Nicole, goddammit, you can't walk away like this.
I believe that's what I'm doing. Amy will let herself out around noon. May I help you?
My name's John James. I'm here to see Dr. Irving. I hope I didn't startle you.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I was late.
Doctor, your patient is here.
I'm sorry,
I
I
hope you're
was
ready
late.
to work.
I took a wrong turn off the expressway.
That's
and got
okay.
lost.
That's all right. It happens to a lot of people. Come on in. Oh, by the way, I'm Dr. Irving. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Here,
to meet you.
come on and take a seat. I'll get your file out. Well, let's take a look here. Well, it says here in your file that you've been on parole for 3 weeks now?
Actually, 5.
Oh, right, yes, of course, I see. You're actually the first patient I've had of this program, so bear with me. All right, we can begin whenever you're ready. If you want, we can start with the penitentiary, or how you've been occupying your time for the past few weeks.
Right to the point, huh?
Well, I figured since those events are more recent, we can begin there.
Fair enough,
I mean, we
guess.
don't have to. It's only a suggestion. It's entirely up to you.
I guess we could start from the joint. It's not the spectacle everyone makes it out to be. Basically, it's the same old routine every day. You're hanging around with the same people in the same cliques. You're constantly getting screamed at. It's kind of like high school, except without the females, of course.
Did you mention cliques? When you say cliques, what exactly do you mean?
You know, murderers hang with murderers, and thieves hang out with thieves, and perverts hang out with perverts.
I'm guessing you hung out with the thieves then.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta find yourself pretty quick in there, otherwise they'll walk all over you.
And how are you taking care of yourself now that you're back on the outside?
One day at a time.
Excuse me, Nicole, where are the... Oh, I'm sorry.
What can I help you with?
I was wondering where the clean bed sheets are.
The linen closet, down the hall, first door on the left. Please, stay upstairs until I call you.
Okay, thanks.
That was just the housekeeper.
Jittery little thing, isn't she?
Never mind her. I really think we should talk about why you were sent to prison in the first place.
Seems only fair. What do you want to know?
Well, let me see here. It takes, it says here you stole a Chevy Cobalt from the department store parking lot where you worked, drove it to your ex-girlfriend's house, and then broke in.
That's what I did.
Well, John, don't you think we should discuss this?
Not much to discuss, really. All I can say is, I snapped.
You snapped?
Yeah, I snapped. My girlfriend was cheating on me, my job had screwed me over, and I was angry. And most people could fight off urges, but that day I couldn't. I mean, I'm not the first person it's happened to, right?
No, sometimes life gives us more than we can handle, and we lose control. You realize now that what you did was wrong, right?
Do you really have to ask me that?
I suppose not. I have one more question, though.
Shoot.
When you snapped, what did it feel like?
You know, it felt like a heavy weight was lifted off my chest. To have all that anger inside and just be able to let it out, it was the greatest feeling in the world. Why?
Oh, just curious. Let's continue.
Yeah, I've been talking to the realtor for the past few days. And he says that the homes around here are selling like crazy. So I think this will all be over real soon. I'll see you for dinner later. Love you too, Zach. Bye. All done upstairs, Amy?
Not yet. I'm looking for my cell phone. I'm expecting a very important call, and I could have sworn I left it down here.
Well, I don't see it anywhere, but hopefully it'll turn up. Just use the doctor's phone to call it, and but I have to go to work now, so I'll see you later, okay?
Okay, have a great day.
Bye, Amy.
To the Earthman.
Oh yes, a former student of mine used to call me that, and the name stuck. He gave me this when I left.
I didn't know you were a teacher. When did you teach?
Years ago, it was actually through that job I met Nicole.
My mom was a teacher too. She retired last year.
Oh yeah, are your parents from around here?
No, they're from Las Vegas actually. That's where I was born.
Really? What made you decide on moving out to Los Angeles?
No, I had the acting bug ever since I was little, and I figured,
No kidding, you're an actress?
former actress. I kept at it for a while, but seeing how the only role I managed to get in all the time I was out here was a brief walk-in role for a play, I decided it really wasn't for me. I haven't entirely given up on the theater business, though. That's the important phone call I'm waiting for. One of my friends is now the artistic director of that theater where I had my brief walk-on role, and he said they might be interested in producing one of my plays.
Really? Damn, I had a rising playwright working for me this whole time and I didn't even know it.
I certainly wouldn't go that far.
Hey, listen, in all seriousness, that's really amazing. I mean, I wish you all the best of luck. Better yet, break a leg, as the artsy people say, although I'm not really sure that that's really applying to us writers.
I don't think so, but thank you regardless.
Since we're on the subject, I have done a little bit of writing myself. I mean, I know it's not a play, but I've done a bit of writing myself.
Mind Games. A Look Inside the Mind by Dr. Frank Irving. Wait, you wrote this?
I did. As a matter of fact, I had all my classes use it when I was teaching.
That's incredible. So you're a published author.
I am.
Introduction. Despite the countless advancements a man has made, sometimes he finds himself doomed because of circumstances beyond his control. That's some pretty pessimistic stuff.
Now, I wouldn't call making an observation that's been proven true countless times pessimistic.
Sounds like you have kind of a dark side.
We all do to some extent.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
Oh, come on now. In your whole life, no one has ever found an aspect of your personality or anything you've done to be just a little troubling.
Well, I have been told from time to time that my writing is a little dark. I guess that counts.
Really? I'm surprised to hear that. Well, what kind of plays do you write?
Mostly murder mysteries. I did grow up reading Agatha Christie, so I guess it was inevitable.
I see. Very interesting. You know, I still talk with a lot of people down at the publishing company, and they have a lot of connections all over the place. Maybe you know some literary agents looking to represent a young murder mystery playwright.
Wait, are you saying you'd tell them about me?
Sure, why not?
For starters, you don't know anything about my play.
Well, so send it to me, and I'll read it. And anyway, it can't hurt to just ask around, especially when the theater's already considering producing it.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
Now look, if worst comes to worst, if this writing thing doesn't work out, you can always become a shrink.
I'm not too sure about that, Dr. Irving.
Yeah, these days I'm not too sure about it either, honestly. And please, my patients call me Dr. Irving. Call me Frank. I mean, we, after all, we're both writers.
All right. Frank.
I've always wanted to write a play myself. You know, I'd love to take a crack at it again, but it's just been so hard for me to get excited about anything lately. What with, well, I'm sure you've noticed.
My parents split up when I was 15. I can still remember all their fights. I didn't think I'd ever see them happy again. But once my dad moved out, the divorce was all over, the papers were signed, I was proven wrong.
Well, that's good to know they're happy now.
They are. If you don't mind,
Oh,
I'll
please,
just...
please.
Now I remember, I left my phone on the shelf in the bathroom. I swear, I'm the most disorganized person I know.
You know, you clearly don't know me too well just yet. Be sure to let me know any news about your play.
I definitely will.
Morning, John.
Morning, Doc.
Come on in. Just some notes here.
Hey, you know, my father had a pen that looked just like that.
Is that right? Is your father still alive?
I don't know. He left when I was 11.
Oh, gee, that must have been quite rough for you.
It was tough. My mother was battling depression, and when my father left, she hit an all-time low.
Marriage falling apart, especially under those circumstances, can do that to people.
Yeah, I had to learn to take care of myself.
How did you cope with your father leaving and your mother's depression?
I had to learn to be the adult
I understand.
and you know, I had to.
You were the man of the house, right?
I was the man of the house, and in most cases, I had learned to be on my own.
When you say you learned a lot being on your own, though, what do you mean?
I learned how to survive.
Were you ever out on the streets?
For a while, after I dropped out of high school, I went from city to city looking for work.
And how did you make out?
It was tough, not knowing where you're going to eat each day and where you're going to sleep each night.
What did you do for food?
I did what I had to do.
You mean steal.
Yeah, I mean steal. It was either that or go crawling back to my stealing vegetable mother.
And how long did this lifestyle continue?
A couple of years, until I got busted for stealing somebody's Mercedes.
You stole a Mercedes?
I really don't understand your surprise. I wound up in prison past time for stealing a car after all. Doesn't it say that in my file? That I had raped into prison once before?
Of course, of course. Why did you steal the Mercedes? Did you snap the way you did with your ex-girlfriend?
Nah, I was at a casino and some rich guy screwed me over in a card game. So I bumped him on the way out, got the keys, just to show him he wasn't as high and mighty as he thought, and took his car.
This was a number of years ago, wasn't it? Was your first time in prison a lot worse than the past time?
I wouldn't say a lot worse. I mean, I learned who to hang out with, who not to hang out with, things to do, stuff like that.
Did you fall in with dangerous people the first time around?
You know, I met a guy that was in for murder. We got into a couple of heated arguments, and the bastard jumped me in the laundry room.
He jumped you?
Yeah, bastard came at me with a shiv.
What did you do? What did you do?
I know how to fight, plain and simple. I got in a couple of good punches, and the coward couldn't take it anymore. Next thing I know, forget it.
Forget what? John, whatever it is you can tell me. Everything you say in this room is confidential. Everything.
After I hit him a couple of times, I grabbed a hold of his shank and drove it into his gut.
Wait. Are you saying you killed him?
That's what I'm telling you.
You actually killed him?
Hey, you said everything in here was confidential.
It is. I'm just trying to digest all this. I mean, you didn't just steal a car. You stole a life. Jesus.
For God's sake, Doc, it's not like I shanked some little old lady coming out of bingo hall. He was trying to kill me, so I killed him first.
Well, what happened after you shanked him?
His body was discovered later that night. Guy had enemies all over the place, so my name never even made it to the suspect list.
So you got away with it?
I did.
Where did you find the power to do that? I mean, where did you find the power to kill?
I did what I had to do, simple as that.
Well, what did it feel like? I mean, what did it feel like to murder someone?
Why do you want to know?
I just think it's something we should address.
All right, nothing. I felt absolutely nothing.
You felt nothing?
Not a goddamn thing. I'd like to tell you I puked my guts when I got back to the cell. Well, then I got down on my knees and prayed for forgiveness. But I felt absolutely nothing. It was as meaningless as brushing my teeth or tying my shoes. And that's the goddamn truth.
Well, if that's how you felt, you know, we have no control over what we feel. We only have control over what we do. Let's move along. Oh, excuse me for walking around my house.
What are you doing up this late?
Well, I'm working on some of my old story outlines, as you can see, right? Why the hell do you care anyway?
Aren't you a little old to be writing stories?
Don't talk to me about age. What are these? Ha! Flowers? What's next? Corsage? An invite to prom? The realtor called while you were away.
Oh?
He was telling me about a potential buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Harrison. He said that they were over last Thursday night.
Yes, they stopped by and I met them. Lovely couple. And they're interested.
You had the realtor and these people over when I was out?
Yes, while you were out. What was I supposed to tell them? No, you can't come over now because my soon-to-be ex-husband is out getting drunk at some cheap bar.
Well, you could have at least told me about them when I came home that night.
I would have, but I didn't feel like waiting up for you.
And in the time since then, you didn't think of saying anything?
What for? So we could have this conversation sooner?
God damn it, Nicole, this is my place too.
It was your house, Frank. But I don't have all the details yet, but I'm willing to bet that Mr. and Miss Harrison are willing to pay us way above the asking price. And if you turn this deal down, you'll not only lose out on a great deal, but we'll be at each other's throats like this for God knows how long.
One day you're telling me you want the house, and now you're telling me it's sold. It's unbelievable. I haven't even started looking for a place yet.
Don't you dare pull that on me, Frank. You've known about this for what, how long? And you haven't even started looking yet? I can't deal with this now. I need to get up early tomorrow morning and get packed for the weekend teachers conference. Did you see where I put the cup? What the hell?
Wow, that's some card. That's quite a card.
It's none of your goddamn business. Don't you ever go through my personal things again.
So, tonight was your 1-year anniversary?
Stop this now, Frank. Just drop it.
5 months ago was when you first told me that you were involved with him. Yet the card clearly states that you've been together a whole year, which is...
We've been together a year.
You've been together a whole year, yet you didn't tell me until 7 months in.
I know, but we both knew the marriage was falling apart by that point. We were just going through the motions.
That's beside the point. What you're telling me is you were rocking the cradle with Zach and then coming home to me.
Frank, please, let's not do this.
How could you do this to me?
What about what you did to me? What about the fact that you were never there? When I needed you, especially when I lost the baby.
Don't you dare bring that into this. That has nothing to do with
it. It has everything to do with this, and you know it. Where were you when I needed you? I'll tell you where. Out, falling down drunk at some bar. That was the worst time of my life. And you just discarded me like a piece of trash. Do you know how long I waited to get pregnant? How long I prayed? A part of me died when we lost her, Frank. A part of me died.
A part of me died too. You want to know about where I was? How about we talk about where you were, Nicole? Let's see where you were. Tell me where you were, Nicole. I'll tell you where you were. You were meeting Zach after class.
Enough.
Taking off his clothes.
Frank, stop it.
Lying down next to him.
Enough. For the love of God, stop it.
You ripped my heart out. You don't even care.
Frank, please, let me.
Don't you have to go to that conference tomorrow. Just a minute, I'm coming.
Morning, doctor.
Sorry, I just woke up. Have a seat. Give me a second.
Must have been one crazy night.
What?
I said it must have been one crazy night. You fall asleep and all.
Well, I was up late last night working on some of your paperwork and the file, and I guess I dozed off.
Fell asleep at your desk, huh? And I guess that missus didn't see you on her way out then?
Apparently not.
What about that jittery little thing? Didn't she wake you up?
Jittery little thing? Oh, you mean Amy. Oh, today's her day off. Now, if we're off of my subject of sleeping habits, I'd like to get started.
You're the boss. This is our last session.
Excuse me?
This is the last session the program's paying for.
Well, today is,
Thursday.
oh, so it is. Forgive me. Let's get right to it.
Are you all right, Doc?
I'm fine. Let's concentrate on you for the time being. How's your job been going?
As expected, there's only so much excitement one gets flipping burgers at a fast food joint.
Well, still it's something.
Whatever you say.
Well, do you wish you were doing something else?
Absolutely. You know, I may be back in the real world, but I feel like I'm still living behind bars.
Why is that?
Take a look at everything going on in my life. My shit job, my crappy apartment, and my parole officer who turns a place inside out every time he comes for a visit.
Well, you have to understand that's a standard parole procedure.
I know, but I used to live out on my own without a penny to my name. If I could do that then, I should be able to do that now. I'm sure as hell not. Now, I'm able to make it on my own. It's not forgetting.
What?
I was just thinking about how important one single little thing could be. In my case, a picture on a phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the day I snapped. My boss was screaming at me. I set up some display wrong at the end of the aisle, and everybody in the store was staring at me. And I had two thoughts in my head. One was, get the hell out of there. And the other one was a picture of my girl with the panties I just bought her. She's laying there in bed, begging me to come back to bed. I knew right then and there that I had to keep this job, no matter how much it sucks. I had to keep it for her, so that I could buy her gifts like that and we could start building a life together. But at that very moment, my phone rings. I pull it out, and it's a picture of a guy in bed with a girl. And it's not just any girl, it's my girl. I know, right?
I'm glad I moved that bottle.
I know. He had the balls to send that to me. The next thing I know, I'm ripping the car keys out of some customer's hand, racing through the parking lot. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, if I hadn't gotten that picture on that phone, I wouldn't have snapped. I wouldn't have been put back in the joint, and I would have had these people breathing down my neck. I would have been carrying on with myself in my own merry way. Without a care in the world. Aren't you gonna get that?
No, this is more important. Sometimes it doesn't.
Answer it, it's driving me crazy. Hello?
Really? I didn't expect them to close so soon. Listen, I'm actually with a patient right now. Bye. Oh, that was just the realtor.
I didn't know you were selling this place.
Well, that doesn't concern you. I want to ask you something, John, and I want you to tell me the truth. You understand?
And what is that?
Well, after you stole the car, you drove to her place and broke in, right?
That's what I did.
And she wasn't home?
As you know, she wasn't home. Some neighbors called the cops. Why are you...
If she had been home that day, what would you have done?
What would I have done?
Yes.
As you know, I was out to hurt her.
Would you have killed her?
Excuse me?
You heard me. Would you have killed her?
Doc, you honestly think I would have murdered my ex-girlfriend like that in the middle of the day? I might have lost my mind, but I didn't lose my mind.
If you could have gotten away with it, would you have killed her?
Dr. Irving, I don't...
What did I say? I said I wanted the truth. You should know by now that I'm sworn to secrecy, especially after that story you told me about the guy that you killed in the laundry room. Now answer the question. If you could have gotten away with it, would you have killed her?
Yes. Yes, I would have.
You know why my wife and I are getting a divorce?
Excuse me?
It was a Tuesday afternoon. Nicole had been dying to see this play for the past couple of months, and I was on my way back from picking up the tickets. Well, I turned onto our street, and I saw she was already home, which was a surprise to me, because the day prior, she told me she was going to be working late. Apparently, she wasn't working late. It also was a big disappointment, because I was planning this huge surprise. You know, have dinner all ready, and then pull out the tickets, something along those lines. Anyway, I come in, and before I can show her the tickets, she takes me by the hand, and she sits me down at the kitchen table, and she tells me she has something important to tell me, something that can't wait any longer. She tells me she's fallen in love with someone else, and our marriage is over. You know who she fell in love with? Her 20-year-old student. She was getting dirty with a college kid for months. And all the while I was being played. I wasn't good enough for her, no matter what I did. No matter how hard I tried. In the end, I lost to a goddamn child. You want to know something? You want to know something, John? I still have those tickets. I stuck them in our wedding album of all places.
I don't know what to say, Dr. Irving. I honestly don't know what you want me to say.
I want to ask you a question.
And what is that?
Could you kill my wife? You heard me?
All right, I see what's going on here. I gotta give the sneaky bastard credit.
What the hell are you talking about?
Cut the shit. I know my parole officer put you up to this. I'll tell you. I've heard stories about parole officers screwing over their parolees, but this is something else.
Is that what you think this is?
For God's sake, drop the act. You couldn't have made it any more obvious. What's the plan? I say yes, you tell me where to go, and then the cops are waiting here to haul my ass back to prison?
Well, you were the one who said you wanted to make it on your own in the world. I mean, if anything's going to help you make it out there in the real world, it's money. You know it. I know it. I can give you $30,000.
That's it, I'm done.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Oh, enough is enough, Doc. Please, save yourself any more embarrassment.
You honestly believe what you told me? You really think I'm working with your parole officer? Nobody's stupid enough to believe something like that, especially someone like you.
You're serious then? You want me to kill your wife for $30,000?
I'll make it 35,000. I just want to know if you're in or not.
Well, jeez, it's not like you're asking me to do your grocery shopping, you know.
I know. But I also know if someone is going to pull this off, it's you. You've done it before, and you can do it again, only this time, it's not like a convicted murderer trying to drive a shank to your gut.
Listen, Dr. Irvin.
Frank!
All right, Frank. Even if I was interested, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Killing a con in prison is nothing like what you're asking. The circumstances couldn't be any more different.
The circumstances may be different, but the end result is still the same. Dead is dead. Killing is killing. You've killed before. You sure as hell should be able to do it again.
And how exactly am I going to kill your wife?
I'll provide you with all the details on how to pull it off. You just have to do it.
It's a lot easier said than done. You're not the one with a parole officer breathing down your neck every time you look at someone cross-eyed. Anyway, I gotta go.
No. You can't leave like this.
I think we can both agree this session's over. And besides, if you really want me to consider this, I'm going to need some time to think it over. There's a lot to consider.
I know. Just remember what I told you.
And what is that?
35,000.
I'll keep in touch, Frank.
I see I've inspired you to get into the theater business.
Huh?
Untitled murder mystery play by Frank Irving.
Oh, yeah. I started working on it a little while ago, but given all the talks, I figured I might as well take a stab at writing it for the stage. I'm currently stuck, though, on the opening. I just had a lot on my mind lately.
It's really exciting you're writing again. You'll have to keep me posted on how it comes along. Are you seeing any patients today?
I don't see any patients on Fridays.
Well, that's good. I can't remember the last day I had a day off, to be honest.
I've been meaning to ask you, did your friends get back to you about your play?
He did. He said they've decided to produce it in their upcoming season.
Amy, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thanks. I've never had any of my work performed before, so I'm sure it'll be a really great experience.
You know, I reached out to some of my old contacts in the publishing company, and they gave me the contact information for a literary agent out here in Los Angeles. I've been telling them all about you.
Really?
I told them you might be having a production of your work, and I keep them posted on everything. Now it looks like I'm going to have to send them an email tonight, and that's no problem. And I'll tell them all the good news, and I don't see how we can turn it down now, especially when I told them how good it was.
Once again, thank you so much for all of this. Things are happening so fast, I don't know what to do.
Well, I'll tell you what to do. Find out where the theater is putting on your play, and let me know. I'd like to come.
You don't have to do that, Frank. Listen, I know that you're selling the house.
I want to. I want to just keep me in the loop, okay?
Okay, I definitely will. Listen, I know you're selling the house.
Yes, we are.
And I wondered if you had found a place yet.
No, not yet. Why?
The reason I'm asking is my father had a really hard time managing his own place when he first moved out. So I figured that when you did find a place, you could call me if you needed any help. I really liked working for you, so I figured I'd offer.
Well, I'll keep that offer in mind. Thank you. You know, you never fail to brighten my day, Amy.
May I help you?
Hello there. John Danes?
It's okay, Amy. I'll take care of it.
Okay, I'll get out out of your way then.
What are you doing here?
I was in town and I figured I'd take you up on that offer from yesterday.
Have a seat, give me a second.
Let's have the details.
Well, her name is Amy, the one that you just saw leave, and she's not going to be giving us any problem, and she's not going to be running around. She's going to be upstairs cleaning, so we're good.
All right, then we can discuss this.
Now, given that the closing on the house is soon, and my wife is learning, or leaving, I should say, tonight for a conference in the city, it's going to have to happen tomorrow night. It's our best opportunity.
Tomorrow night. That's Saturday night. What's happening then?
Well, that's when the professors, they get together at a restaurant after the hotel, and then they go for late dinner. And when she leaves the restaurant and arrives back at the hotel, that'll be your best chance to catch her alone.
What hotel is this?
Well, it's a Sutherland. It's by,
Yeah, I know where it is. You expect me to travel that far into the city?
for 35 grand, yeah, I do.
Well, then it's going to have to be 40,000.
What? $40,000?
You think I can head into the city without a care in the world? I'm on parole, remember? I'm putting myself at risk just by being here now, let alone going into the city for something like that. If I'm going to take that kind of risk, then it needs to be 40.
Well, I guess I don't have much of a choice then. Fine, 40 grand it is.
Where and when are you going to get all this money? You walk into a bank and withdraw that kind of money before your wife's murdered, it's going to raise a lot of eyebrows.
Won't be a problem. Since our marriage began falling apart, I've been withdrawing from the savings, and I've had some patients even pay me in cash. Little by little, I've been putting it all in a safety deposit box, and it's all added up.
Does the missus know about this hidden income?
No.
Damn, you're just breaking all kinds of laws nowadays, aren't you, Doc?
Bottom line is, no one else knows about it. Now, do you want it or not?
As long as I get it, I don't care where it comes from.
Good. Now, are you familiar with the hotel?
Please, you really think I can afford to stay at a place like that?
Here's the hotel, and here's the front entrance. Now, across the street is the parking lot. There's no valet parking there. Now, I drove to the hotel last night, and they're in the process of ripping up the entire front of the parking lot.
You drove there last night? God damn, Frank. You really went all out for this.
Could we focus, please? Now look, the restaurant is about 20 minutes away. They usually go around 8. Whenever I took her, we'd get back to the hotel at around 10. Now my wife returns to the hotel parking lot. She'll have to park in one of these places near the back. That's when you'll have to make your move.
Make my move?
Kill her. Kill her. You'll kill her the way you killed the guy in the laundry room.
You want me to shank your wife?
Did you have any other ideas?
Don't you think if I randomly pop out of the darkness, drive a shank into your wife's gut and take off, that won't seem a bit suspicious?
Well, that's what I thought too, until I saw that there had been a mugging on that same street about 2 months ago. Now, if you steal her purse after you kill her, everyone will just assume it was another mugging that went bad.
What about security cameras? Every place has got them nowadays.
Well, that's why this has to be done here, at the back of the lot. It's far enough away from the hotel that it'll be out of range of the cameras, which are over here. And plus, given the overall lack of lighting in that section, even if the camera does manage to record something, it'll be so dark and blurry, they won't be able to analyze it anyway.
You know this for a fact?
If you have doubts, so wear a hoodie, wear a ski mask. I mean, just try not to attract any attention. Look, there's a dumpster. There's a dumpster right here at the very back of the lot. Just hide behind it until it's time.
And when that time arrives, what if she's with someone? What do you expect me to do then?
Believe she won't be with anyone.
How do you know?
Do you really think that a professor who was carpooling and sleeping with her student, I mean, trust me, she is going to be riding with no one. She's going to be all alone.
Still, that doesn't mean there won't be anyone else in the parking lot at the time. If someone sees me attacking her and decides to play hero,
You were able to kill someone inside a building swarming with guards and didn't get caught.
would you stop with that? This isn't prison.
No, it's not. This time, you're getting paid $40,000 as opposed to doing it for free. Now, there's an alley adjacent to the parking lot here. Now, park at the opposite end of the alley and get to the parking lot at, let's say, I'd say around 9:30. Hide behind the dumpster at the back of the lot and wait for my wife. She drives a red Impala. Yeah. Now, once you see it, you wait for her to get out, and then you go after her. Once you kill her, take the money out of the purse, shove the purse in the dumpster, and head for the alley. Then you get in your car and you get the hell out of there. You'll be home free before anyone nearby has the time to even figure out what the hell went on.
You do realize that if any portion of this plan, no matter how small, gets messed up or doesn't go exactly the way you anticipated, I'm screwed, right?
No, you won't get screwed. I've thought about this long and hard about it, and it'll work.
Where exactly are you going to be during all this?
Well, I'll be at the bar downtown. I'll leave the bar, let's say, around 10 o'clock. Hopefully it'll all be over by then.
I want half the money first. Hey, you got to understand, when you've been out on the streets like I have, you've learned to take all the necessary steps to make sure you don't get screwed over.
Fine, fine. Okay, stop by tomorrow afternoon before you leave, and you'll get the other $20,000 when it's done. Now, do we have an understanding?
I believe we do. When you get back from the bar, be sure to sound genuine, so when the police call, I'd hate to think they're busting my ass for you to screw it all up.
You do your job, and I'll do mine.
I'll see you around, Frank.
If the realtor calls and asks for me, tell him to call myself.
Yeah,
Frank,
I got it.
and I figured you could use this. Actually, I'll be back Sunday evening.
Sunday evening?
I'm meeting Zach for lunch on the way back up.
Sunday evening? Sunday evening it is then.
I figured you could use this.
What's this?
It's a listing of all the apartments available around here. The nearest one is about a half a mile from here. I figured since you haven't found the place yet, this could help you get started.
I'll hold on to it.
Well, I guess I better get going. You have a number of the hotel, right?
I do.
All right. Bye, Frank. See you Sunday.
And now we wait. Hello? Yes, this is Frank Irving. Oh my God, when did this happen? Oh, no, John, come on, John. Darn it. Hello? Yes, this is Dr. Frank Irving. What? Oh my God! What took you so long?
Hey, the cops on my ass. You got the money?
It's on the desk. That's the rest of it.
You all right, Frank?
Not really. When I got back from the bar last night, I saw no one had called here yet. I was worried something went wrong. Why didn't you call me?
You said to lay low. I figured with the police interviewing you and all, the last thing you needed was a call from me.
Cops at the scene was brutal. She didn't suffer, did she?
Let's just say she didn't go down without a fight.
What do you mean?
She kicked and she screamed, she scratched.
That's enough!
Fortunately, my delicate skin wasn't exposed. You and I both know if she had managed to cut me and get my DNA under her fingernails, we'd both be screwed. Needless to say, I had to shank her a few more times.
How much attention did you attract?
A few people near the hotel saw me stabbing her, but by the time they began to run over, I was already leaving.
What did you do with her purse?
After I took the money, I threw it in the dumpster.
And where did you park your car?
Where you told me to park it? At the opposite end of the alley. After I fled the scene, I ran down the alley, climbed back into my car, and got the hell out of there.
Anyone see you in the alley?
No.
What did you do with the shank and your clothes?
When I got back to my apartment, I threw them out. They're probably at the bottom of some garbage dump somewhere.
Well, going back to the crime scene, did you wear the hoodie, the ski mask, the gloves?
Yes. For God's sake, Frank, Doc, enough. Do you really think I'd make a stupid-ass mistake like that?
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I know you took a tremendous risk, but you pulled it off. You pulled it off.
We pulled it off, Frank. Hey, how's that little boyfriend of hers doing?
Well, from what the cops told me, Zach dropped out of university. He's a mess.
Talk about killing two birds with one stone.
Amy, you're early.
I'm sorry, I thought you said 11.
I'm pretty sure I said noon.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
It's fine. John and I were just finishing up, weren't we, John?
I'm so sorry for your loss, Frank. I've been worried sick about you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Amy. It means a lot.
We'll talk later. I'll get started in the meantime. Excuse me.
Goddamn, Frank, you horny son of a bitch.
Excuse me? She's here to help around the house. That's all.
Keep telling yourself that. Well, I better get going in case I need to take care of some housework too, in case my parole officer comes by. I'm sure you'll be taking care of some housework as well.
Goodbye, John.
Hey, lighten up. After everything we've been through together, I figured you'd be cracking jokes too. If any of my friends have knock therapy, I'll be sure to tell them it's quite beneficial.
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, John.
Bye, Frank.
Finished?
Yeah, what's up?
I noticed you had a bouquet of flowers on the dining room table that looked pretty dead.
What? Those. Nicole got them a couple days before. You didn't throw them out. I completely forgot about them.
All right. How are you holding up?
I guess I've been doing all right, all things considered. You know, taking things one day at a time.
I can't even imagine what my father would be feeling if something like this happened to my mother. Sure, he's not with her anymore, but after spending all those years with someone, it's absolutely horrible. My mother's always telling me about things like this. It seems a woman can't even walk down the street anymore. I just pray the police find the one who's responsible.
One can only hope.
Anyway, I just wanted to check up on you and express just how sorry I was in person.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Dr. Frank, Yes, can I help you, Miss,
Detective Kate Isley, Homicide LAPD. My office should have informed you that I'd be stopping by.
Oh, yes, I remember. Forgive me, I've been pretty out of it lately.
I understand, and I'm sorry for your loss. If this is a bad time, I can come back later.
No, that's okay. Please, come in.
Thanks. I would have been here sooner, but I got lost on the way over.
It happens to a lot of people.
Huh. This is quite a place you have here. Would you mind if I sat down?
No, please do. Now, when the cops were here, they told me they were starting to look for possible suspects in the area. Anyone who had been arrested for muggings, stuff like that. I take it that's why you're here.
Well, yes and no. We initially were under the belief that your wife's death was a mugging gone wrong. But upon further investigation, we believe otherwise.
Excuse me?
Oh, I was just taking care of the flowers like you said.
Oh, that's fine, Amy. Amy Williams. She's the housekeeper. I'm sorry to interrupt. Now, what were you saying? I'm sorry you interrupted.
When I took over the investigation, I had the whole crime scene re-examined. I even took the time to look over everything we know so far. And now I'm under the belief that your wife's murder was premeditated.
Premeditated? Recent muggings, and I heard about one of them. Well, I heard about muggings on the news a month or so ago. I mean, I'm not wrong, am I?
No, but I'm amazed that you remember that. This is LA, and crime happens here all the time, and for you to remember a particular crime.
But when the police told me what had happened, I looked up the area online and it directed me to the story which refreshed my memory.
I guess I can see how you might assume it was a botched mugging, but that's what everyone down at the station, including myself, thought at first. But then we found something that proved otherwise.
What made you change your mind then?
Well, a number of things. First, there was everything we were able to gather from the people who come in and out of the lot before Nicole was killed. They all said they seemed to remember what they thought was a homeless person lurking around the dumpster in the back.
Really?
Yeah, and naturally, we went and looked at the security cameras from the hotels to see if they caught anything, but unfortunately, the footage wasn't of much use. So I've had to rely solely on witnesses so far. But they all confirmed that someone was hanging around the area.
Excuse me for asking this, detective, but how do we know this person isn't actually a bunch of different people? I mean, I've been to that lot before with my wife, and I see certain people hanging around here and there, but then they leave and someone else would take their place. Maybe these witnesses are mistaking a bunch of people for a single person?
It's an excellent point, and it was my initial thought as well. But then we found something that just proved otherwise.
Oh?
We found shoe prints in the mud near the dumpster. I had molds taken of the prints, and they all come from the same pair of shoes. I even called the construction company. They said that the workers hadn't been there since it rained on Saturday afternoon, so clearly there was no way the prints were from any of them.
I'm afraid I don't follow. What do shoe prints in the mud have to do with anything?
Well, they tell us that somebody was pacing back and forth by the dumpster for quite some time. If this person really was a homeless mugger, he would have had plenty of opportunity to rob someone else. The fact that he was biding his time, waiting for Nicole to show up, indicates that her murder was premeditated.
You really think so?
Yes, I do, and it's tough, I understand, to get this all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to take in at once, I'll tell you that.
I know, but look, the department will still look into the possibility that this guy was a local mugger, but at the moment, we just believe what I just told you. Now I'm gonna have to ask you some questions.
Sure, any way I can help, let me know.
All right, I have here that Jay said, well,
Yeah, James, yeah, I was at the bar, right? Yeah.
on Miller Street, you went to the
Yes,
bar
that's
on Miller
correct.
Street. And I actually used to go to that place all myself.
Oh, yeah, maybe we met there before.
No, I wouldn't remember. Anyway, I stopped by to see Jay the other day, and he said that you arrived at around 8 and left at around 10. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, give or take a few minutes.
Huh. And approximately, when was the last time you spoke with Nicole? I'm trying to get a timeline going of how things played out before she was killed.
To tell you the truth, I didn't speak to her all day Saturday. Last I spoke to her was Friday evening, right before she left. Nicole and I really hadn't been making much small talk, given that the divorce was going on and all.
I can understand how tough those would be.
Oh yeah, well, I'm afraid I won't know what was going on in her personal life. She was in and out of this place like clockwork and hardly told me anything.
I don't suppose you would. From what you can remember from before this whole divorce thing came underway, did she have any enemies you could think of? An instructor that she had conflicts with, or a student who caused her trouble?
The only student I can think of who caused her quite a bit of trouble was the one she was going to be living with once she sold the house.
Zachary Norton.
Yes, that's right. What do you know about him?
Well, naturally we questioned him, but he was at a campus event that night, and there are at least a dozen people who saw it, including 2 campus security guards.
Well, like I said, Nicole and I hadn't really been talking about her career or her personal life that much, so I wouldn't know of anyone else.
All right, well, let's get back to what you were doing at the time of the murder. Jay told me that you got into a bit of an argument with one of his patrons. Can you elaborate on that?
I hate to say it, but it was about sports.
Sports?
Yeah, a ball game was on TV, and I started knocking one of the guys who was rooting for the other team, and he was being loud and obnoxious, and I lost my temper.
Huh. Well, they do say that you shouldn't discuss politics and religion with people you don't know. I guess we can add sports to that list.
I'm pretty embarrassed about it looking back. Not my best moment.
Well, Jay said that he switched the stations at around 10, right after he broke up your random shouting match and right before you left.
Well, that sounds about right.
Quite the coincidence, wouldn't you say?
How's that?
Well, you get into a random shouting match that everyone witnesses at about the same time your wife is murdered.
What are you trying to say here, detective?
Just seemed like a very weird coincidence, wouldn't you say?
Well, I certainly would have no way of knowing some scumbag was stabbing my wife to death.
Of course not. I'm not trying to imply anything. It just seems very strange to me. Yeah? Now? Okay, tell him I'll be there as soon as I can. All right, bye. I'm needed back at the station.
Understood.
In the meantime, I'd like you to pass on a message to Miss Williams.
Excuse me?
Here's my contact information. Tell her I want to meet as soon as possible.
For what?
For this investigation, Doctor. I believe Amy can supply a great deal of help. She did spend a lot of time around here, and maybe she overheard something.
Overheard something?
Yes. Maybe she overheard a phone call between Nicole and someone we don't even know about, or maybe Nicole mentioned something to her while she was working around the house.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I'll definitely pass on the message.
All right. Thank you for your time. I'll keep in touch.
Amy,
Yes? Right?
could you come here for a minute?
Sorry about before. I didn't know you had another patient coming in today.
Another patient? Oh, no, that wasn't a patient. Her name's Kate Isley. She's a detective, and she's here about Nicole.
Did they find the guy who did it?
Not exactly. She told me to give this to you. She'd like to speak with you as soon as possible, and as soon as you're available. She believes this wasn't some random mugging gone wrong, like we thought. She thinks Nicole's murder was premeditated.
What? Oh my God!
I know.
I can't believe this. They're saying she tracked her down and...
It was quite a shock to me as well. I mean, she said she'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
I don't know what I can tell her, but I'll be happy to provide any information I can.
I know you will. I'm so sorry you've been dragged into all of this.
I can't even begin to imagine how you must be feeling.
It's been a rough couple of days. And now, with this on top of everything, it's really taking its toll.
I bet. You really should try to rest. You look exhausted.
I feel exhausted.
You know, I'm really glad you decided to take me up on my offer to hire me again, especially in the light of all these unpleasant circumstances. I want to be there for you, Frank. Nicole and you were always so sweet to me, and I want to return the favor.
You're always a big help to me, Amy.
By what? Doing some housework and tidying up a few rooms? I'm no psychiatrist, but I know someone going through what you're going through needs more than that.
What are you saying?
I want to do more for you. Why don't I stop by later tonight and make you some dinner?
You want to make me dinner?
Yes. When's the last time you actually sat down and had a decent meal since all this happened?
Well, I'm not saying no, but why are you doing this?
I want to be there for you, Frank. You certainly were there for me when I needed someone.
I have?
Yes. You know, when I tell people that I want to be a writer out here, they usually just roll their eyes or give me a half-assed pep talk. You on the other hand, you believed in me. I know that sounds cheesy and all, but it really does mean a lot. And I just want to be there for you.
Well, what time can I expect you?
How's about 7?
7 would work great. I'll see you for dinner then.
Well, now that we've got that settled, I'll get back to work.
Thank you, Amy. I could really use a friend these days. You just had to leave your shoe prints all over the place, didn't you, John? God damn it!
Need any help in there?
Oh, no, I'm fine. You've done enough for one evening. If I knew you were that good of a cook, I would have hired you to cook for me years ago.
Oh, stop.
I'm serious. Had your writing career not taken off with your play being produced, I would have told you to take up cooking.
I wouldn't say my writing career's actually taken off. It's only one production.
Well, still, I mean, having a production of your work is certainly a step in the right direction.
I can't argue with you there.
And you're meeting with a literary agent next week.
I am. And it's all thanks to you, Frank. Thank you.
Cheers. You know, I've actually been writing a lot myself lately.
Really? You should try to occupy your time with something you really enjoy.
Well, I've been trying. It still isn't easy. I've been meaning to ask you, did you happen to meet with the Detective Isley yet?
I did. She stopped by around 4 this afternoon, and we spoke for about half an hour.
I see. Would you mind telling me what kind of questions she asked you? As you can imagine, I have a great deal of interest in finding out what the police know.
She asked me basic stuff like how long I had worked for you and Nicole, the last time I spoke to her, stuff like that. She also asked me if I noticed anything out of the ordinary.
Out of the ordinary?
Yeah, like for instance, if anyone had stopped by when Nicole was at home.
And what did you tell her?
I explained that given your profession, sometimes you had the occasional patient over for a session.
My patients? Did she ask you anything about my patients?
No, when I mentioned your patients, she didn't press the matter.
Was there anything else?
No, that was it. Hopefully she got something out of it.
Hopefully.
So, what have you been writing lately?
Well, I'm still working on that murder mystery play I was telling you about. I finished the first draft the other night.
I'd love to read it.
It's on my laptop right now.
Let's take a look. Act 1, Scene 1. A suite in a Las Vegas hotel. Well, as a Vegas native, I'm intrigued so far.
How's the formatting?
The formatting's okay, but
Uh-oh, there's a but.
no, I just noticed there's a lot of exposition in this character's opening paragraph.
Is that bad?
Not necessarily, but I believe you should hold off on some of it. If you introduce as much backstory right away, it'll be difficult for the audience to keep up.
Wow. Housekeeper, playwright, cook, and now critic.
That's just my personal opinion, though. You did want some feedback, didn't you?
I'm kidding. Lighten up. Even if I told you the whole thing was the biggest pile of crap you ever read, I wouldn't be upset.
I don't think it's a pile of crap. Sure, there's some unnecessary expository stuff going on here and there, but all in all, it's flowing really well.
Well, glad to hear it. I'll send you a copy later.
Can't wait to read it.
You know, I've really had a great time tonight, Amy. It's been a long time since I've had the pleasure of spending time with someone like you.
I've had a really great time tonight too, Frank. Best time I've had since I've moved out here. You know, they say LA is where you get your big break, where all your dreams come true. But what they don't tell you is just how lonely it can be.
You didn't come over here just to make me dinner, did you?
Isn't that obvious?
Yeah.
So what would you like to do now?
I got a couple ideas. I'll get it.
Evening, Frank. Oh, hello again.
John, I wasn't expecting you this time of night.
I know, but something suddenly came up. I was in the neighborhood and I figured, why not stop by Dr. Irving's and talk about it?
I see. Amy, would you excuse us for a moment?
Sure.
Wow, I certainly didn't mean to interrupt your housework.
What the hell are you doing here?
I'm afraid we've run into a slight bump in the road.
What?
This morning I got a good look at my car. The passenger door is covered in scratches. So, like some kid keys and had some fun.
Excuse me? John, what the hell does that have to do with anything? You risk coming all the way out here just to tell me about some scratches on your car?
Where do you think those scratches came from? I'm willing to bet every last penny of the $40,000 you gave me that your car got scratched up the night I went into the city.
Keep your voice down. So your car got a little scratch.
I'd say it got a lot more than a little scratch.
What do you want me to say?
Just wanted you to be aware. I'll stop by here tomorrow morning then.
Stop by here for what?
The repair money.
Repair money? John, I just gave you $40,000.
That money was for me to head into the city and take care of your problem. If I hadn't been there that night, my car wouldn't have got damaged. Plus, I need some bucks here and there to fix some appliances in my apartment.
Man, I've had my fair share of delusional patients, but you are truly something else. I mean, we agreed on $40,000, and that's what you got. And now you have the audacity to come here and demand more money?
Given everything I've given you, I believe I'm entitled to a little something extra.
Excuse me?
If it weren't for the services I provided, you wouldn't have any of this. This house, your little girlfriend. Most guys in your situation would be willing to piss away their entire life savings to have that.
Yeah, well, most guys don't have the LAPD breathing down their necks.
What?
You screwed up, John. You made a couple of stupid mistakes that I'm taking the heat for.
What do you mean?
The shoe prints! They found your shoe prints in the mud by the dumpster. The police now know someone was waiting for Nicole. They know this whole thing was premeditated.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's too late, John. I don't owe you anything. The detective already questioned me and Amy. You son of a...
So that's it. Some detective makes you crap in your pants and we part ways? That's not how we're doing this, Frank. We're in this together, whether you like it or not. I mean, let's not forget who killed whose wife.
Shut up.
What, you think soon-to-be wife number 2's gonna hear me?
I said, shut up.
When she starts screwing some college kid, what's the murder plot gonna be then?
Get out.
Not until I get what I'm entitled to.
You're not entitled to anything. Now I said, get out.
Okay then, but I just hope for your sake, police never question me. I think they'd find it rather interesting how informed I am about your wife being murdered, and how I got $40,000 richer while you got $40,000 poorer.
What?
Like I said earlier, we're in this together.
Well, what can I help you with? No, Nicole would have left that in her office. It's a brown folder, right? Yeah, I think I saw it upstairs. I'll drop it off at the university tomorrow. Goodbye.
Is that a friend of your wife? Your late wife?
You think you can blackmail me, John, is that it?
I'm only giving you the facts.
Fine. Here's a fact. You're the criminal, John. You're the one who drove that shank into Nicole's gut. If you start talking to the police, they'll throw your ass back into prison. Only this time it won't be for stealing cars, it'll be for murder.
Prison? I've been there before, Frank. I can handle it. How about you? You know how to protect yourself? You know how to stay on your toes? You know how to fight?
Are you telling me you're willing to spend the rest of your life in prison just to bring me down? That guy who moaned and groaned about wanting to be in charge of his life, wanted to throw it all away just to get back at me? You're not that stupid, John. Let me give you some psychiatric advice. Go home, piss away that 40 grand, and live the rest of your pathetic life in peace and away from me.
You always had a way of dishing out advice, Frank.
Amy!
What was that all about?
Oh, it happens sometimes. A patient will be nearby and they'll think they're having an emergency and they'll stop by.
That seems kind of rude.
Well, it happens sometimes. A patient will be nearby. I certainly don't encourage it. There's only so much you can do when it happens. It's taken care of, though.
I think I better get going.
Amy, you don't have to run off like this. It's been taken care of.
It's not that, Frank.
Well, then what is it then?
It's what happened before the doorbell rang.
Oh, that.
I think this is moving a little bit too fast.
Oh, I see.
Considering all that's happened, I think we really need to cool things down a bit.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we got caught up in the moment earlier.
We did, didn't we? I'll see you tomorrow for work. Goodbye, Frank.
Where's that damn pen? Where is that pen? That damn pen. Detective Isley, what can I do for you?
I'm gonna have to ask you to come down to the station.
I don't understand. If there are more questions about Nicole, I can answer them here.
This isn't about Nicole.
I'm not following you.
This is about Amy Williams.
Amy? What about her?
Amy was killed last night.
What?
Her landlord found her body in her apartment earlier this morning. She was stabbed to death.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
A steak knife is unaccounted for in her kitchen, which means whoever broke in killed her with one of her own knives. Weapon could be anywhere by now.
I mean murdered. Murdered?
Yeah, you can imagine how this was a shock for me. Here I am, investigating the murder of your wife, and now this.
Well, what are you saying? You think I... You think I... You want me to answer that, I guess, huh?
Yeah, answer it. And tell whoever it is you'll be unavailable.
Sure. You want to thank me for agreeing to see you on a short notice, right?
Thank you, Dr. Irving. I've been going out of my mind.
Yeah, I see that.
Who are you? Dr. Irving, you said on the phone that you'd be able to meet with me. This is an emergency. What's going on here?
Detective Kate Isley, homicide, LAPD.
Homicide? Oh, God. Is this about his wife? I've been praying nonstop for you guys to find the one responsible. She was such a sweet and kind-hearted woman. She'd always say hi whenever I came from one of my sessions. When I heard what had happened in the news, I just couldn't believe it.
John, I really need to talk with this detective. We'll have to reschedule your appointment.
Reschedule?
Yes.
But Dr. Irving, I found out this morning my ex may have stolen an additional $40,000 from me. An additional $40,000. That's a lot of money. $40,000, don't you think so?
Look, clearly he needs to talk to me, Detective. As his doctor, I just can't order him away. He's in this kind of mindset. Give me a few minutes with him. Once he calms down and leaves, I promise I'll go to the station with you.
All right, I'll be waiting outside.
Hey, that was quite a speech on my part, huh? I think I have the potential to be a great writer. You know who else I didn't like to write? That housekeeper of yours. Judging from all the books in her apartment, it's a safe assumption, man.
You son of a bitch! Why?
Do you really have to ask?
You killed her because I wouldn't give you more money?
I did it out of principle. Do you really think after all I risked on your behalf, you could just throw me under the bus? That's not the way this works, Frank. Anyway, a girl like that always snooping around the house, who knows what she might have been up to. I did us both a favor.
You followed her, broke into her apartment, and you... My God, you're an animal!
An animal? Is that an official psychiatric diagnosis?
You're not going to get away with this, John. You hear me? You're not going to get away with it.
Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, yeah?
Take a look at what just happened. You knew I killed your housekeeper. Why didn't you say anything? Because we're in this together, Doc. Now that I've taken care of not one but two meddling women in your life, where's that extra cash?
What?
I think another $40,000 will do.
And if I refuse?
I'll just have a chat with that pretty detective.
Still sticking to that brilliant plan, are you? Huh? The plan where you are sent back to prison for the rest of your life?
I wouldn't be so sure of that. After all, you're the shrink. It was your job to get inside my head and give me advice. What kind of power did someone like me, a deadbeat parolee, have against someone like you? To a jury, you got inside my head and twisted me into doing all those horrible things. Once you got a hold of me, I became as much a victim as your poor little wife and housekeeper.
You really think anyone's going to believe this garbage? Are you really that delusional, John? Are you really that sick?
Hey, I've already played the victim before. I know I can do it again.
And when the hell was that?
Right here in this study. Remember when I told you about the guy who tried to shank me in the laundry room? I lied! He never came after me. I went after him. I was the one who started it and I was the one who finished it. But if that case were presented before a jury and you were on it, you would have said I acted out of self-defense and found me innocent. Now, if I can fool someone like you, a doctor, I think I can fool just about anybody. What do you think?
It'll never work. It'll never work. It's your word against mine.
And what's that worth these days, Frank?
Do you really expect me to give you another 40 grand?
I do if you want to get out of this. Expect me here tomorrow night.
Is there a problem?
No.
Good, let's go. Come on.
Where's that darn box? I gotta find the box. Here's the box I was looking for. This is the box that I'm looking for. Just what I need. Who is it?
Act wisely.
Just a minute. What can I do for you?
You can talk to me. There have been some updates since yesterday.
I figured as much. Please.
Well, let's start with Nicole. We've been following up on some suspects in the area who have a history of mugging-related crimes.
I figured as much. And what else?
Well, there's no doubt at this point that this murder was premeditated and was planned to look like a random mugging.
I see.
It was obvious that this person knew Nicole's schedule. He knew when she was going to be in that lot, and the amount of information he possessed was remarkable. Now I'm going to have to ask you some more questions.
Wait, I have an alibi. Like I told you before, I was at Jay's bar that night, and he confirmed it.
I'm not talking about where you were. I'm talking about who might have known Nicole's schedule for that night.
How would I know that? I mean, we've been over this already. I don't know what Nicole shared or who she shared her plans with.
Well, you did know she was going to the conference. Maybe you mentioned it to someone. These things do sometimes come up in conversation. When my ex-husband was moving out and I go out with friends, they usually ask, hey, what's he up to? I tell them, never thinking anything of it. Perhaps you did the same?
I can't say I did. And besides, even if I hadn't mentioned that to someone where Nicole was going, I had no way of knowing her minute-by-minute plans.
Oh, really? Huh. Because you told me I've been to that lot before with my wife. Sounds to me like you used to take her to these conferences.
Where are you going with this?
Well, if you used to take her to these conferences, wouldn't you know she'd be in that lot at that time?
Well, in light of the divorce and all that was going on, do you really think I would remember something like that? I mean, you mentioned your ex multiple times. When the two of you were in the middle of your divorce, were you invested in where she was every minute of every day?
With all due respect, Doctor, my ex-husband wasn't being viciously stabbed to death while I was sitting in some bar getting in a fight over sports.
Well, I didn't tell anyone about Nicole's plans for that night.
Well, is it possible that Nicole might have mentioned her schedule for that night while one of your sessions was going on? Maybe one of your patients overheard her.
I'm going to have to stop you right there. Do you have any idea how ridiculous this sounds? Any idea?
Given everything that's happened to the women that either lived here or worked here, it doesn't sound ridiculous at all to me.
Nicole never discussed her plans while patients were here.
Okay, well, I've been going over everything that you told me about Amy Williams, and I need a few things cleared up. You said she left at around 9:30 that night,
Yeah, give or take a few minutes.
and you remained here by yourself for the rest of the night. Is that correct?
Like I told you before, I never left my house that night, and I've never been in her apartment either.
Well, according to the coroner, time of death was approximately 10 p.m., and Miss Williams's apartment is approximately 15 minutes from here. So, she was obviously killed shortly upon arriving home, which leaves me with two possible theories. One, that the suspect was waiting for her in her apartment, or two, that the suspect followed her from here.
You think she was followed home?
Well, when she was here with you, did she ever mention being followed?
No.
Was she worried or upset? Did anyone else know she was here?
No.
Well, I thought I'd get more out of this. I gotta say that out of all the cases I have worked on, Nicole and Amy's really stand out. You look at the similarities, the connection to this address, how they were both murdered. It's almost as if both these murders were committed by the same person.
The same person?
I can't be sure, of course. But you know what I've learned about murderers, Doctor? They think that they're like gods. They think that for whatever reason, they have the authority to decide who lives and who dies. I have lost track of all the gods I've seen put away. And this guy is no different. When he's convicted in that courtroom, I'll be there. I will be there to witness that look on his face. And the satisfaction that I get from seeing that look, it's the main thing that keeps me going. Well, you can expect to hear from us if we have any updates.
Who is it?
What do you think?
I'm coming. Oh, you're here this time.
Hey, Frankie.
Yep.
Check out the new shoes I got. I bought them after you told me police took molds of the old ones. I figured I'd change up my wardrobe. Chuck the old ones in the dumpster, and now there's nothing connecting me to your wife's murder. I really appreciate you tipping me off about that, Frank. All right, let's get this over with. You got it?
Yep. Here it is. Help yourself. It's all there.
What the hell is this?
You screwed up, John.
What are you talking about? Where's my money?
You were so desperate to prove your signal point that you screwed yourself over in more ways than one. Had you just walked away after I paid you for Nicole, everything would have been all over and done with. But no, you had to get greedy. Now it's going to cost you.
Cost me? No, Frank. It's going to cost you. It began costing you the minute you uttered those 5 little words. Could you kill my wife? Now, give me what's coming to me, or things are going to get a hell of a lot worse.
You know what I learned from all of this? I learned it really does pay to listen to your patients, especially after what you told me yesterday. The truth about what really happened with that guy in the laundry room. How you twisted the story to make it look like it was self-defense when it was really murder.
I'm tired of this shit.
So am I. this is Frank Irving. I just killed an intruder. No, this is Dr. Frank Irving. A patient showed up at my home and tried to kill me. I shot him and I...
You know, Doctor, it's not often that I'm at a loss for words.
What do you want me to say, detective?
I want you to tell me what happened. I know you already spoke to the officers outside, but I need to hear the whole thing from you.
John Danes was my patient. He showed up at my door out of the blue. He said it was urgent. He said he had something important to tell me, something that couldn't wait.
What was it?
He said he knew who murdered Nicole and Amy.
Go on.
Well, with news like that, I let him in without question. I thought back to what you were saying yesterday about a patient possibly overhearing something, so I let him in. That was when he told me he was the one who killed them.
Are you saying that this guy, John Danes, your patient, came here out of nowhere
Yes.
and confessed to killing your wife and your housekeeper? Am I getting this right?
Now look, ordinarily I wouldn't be allowed to discuss this given the confidentiality I have with my patients, but since John is dead, that confidentiality no longer applies. John Danes has killed before. During his first day in prison, he stabbed a man to death in the prison laundry room. If you don't believe me, check the prison. They'll confirm there was a murder during his time there.
I didn't say I didn't believe you, and I did check on his record, and yes, he had quite a history, but I'm just trying to piece together why he would kill Nicole and Amy.
Well, John Danes could not stand rejection of any kind from a woman. As you'll see on his record, he was in prison the past time for breaking into an ex-girlfriend's home when he discovered she had cheated on him. He was obviously infatuated with Nicole and then Amy. And then they showed no interest in him, and that was when John decided to kill him. With Nicole, he must have, he followed her from here to the hotel and killed her the next night. And with Amy, he probably followed her back to her apartment like you said.
So after he confessed, he pulled out the shank?
Yes, and that was when I shot him. He went down, the effer tried to get up, I shot him again.
He was here?
Yes, I dug it out of my closet the other day. I bought it years ago when I first got married, and I figured, given the recent circumstances, I should keep it nearby in case I needed to protect myself. I never thought I'd have to use it, of course.
You do realize that it's going to take more than your word to prove that he killed your wife and your housekeeper. I mean, it's your word against his, and since we're never going to hear his word on the matter, it makes it all the more complicated.
I understand.
Well, we're going to have to compare his shoes to the shoe prints in the molds that we took at the scene and then we're going to have to analyze his vehicle to see if there's any evidence and to see if anybody saw it hanging around the hotel. And then we're going to have to create a link between him and Amy.
I'm sure the evidence will all be there.
I hope so. I'd like this whole thing to be over.
You and me both, Detective.
All right, Dr. Irving, I realize it's been a rough night for you, but you need to come back to the station to give us an official statement.
Well, I understand. Look, before going, let me grab my jacket, please.
Okay, make it quick.
I'll try.
Hello? Oh, I'm at Dr. Irving's place. We're about to head over. You did? And? Are you absolutely positive? I see. All right, bye.
Okay, I'm all set. Is something wrong?
process of analyzing an item we found at the scene of Amy's murder. And this item was found near her body, and part of it had her blood on it. Apparently it fell out of the killer's pocket. But I just got a call from the lab, and they finally matched the fingerprints on it.
John's, I take it.
No, yours.
What?
This item was a pen. It had the inscription "To the Earthman" on it. And we pulled your fingerprints off a water bottle you used back at the station the other day. And sure enough, perfect match.
My pen? My pen?
I have to admit it, Doctor, that whole story of him confessing to you was quite a touch, man.
This is impossible. Let me think about this. Amy, she must have taken it. She must have taken it home by mistake. That's what.
Her prints weren't on it.
Oh my God. It was John. John took it.
John's prints weren't on it either. The only prints on the pen were yours. And you told me that you hadn't been to Amy's apartment, ever. And so, how does a pen with her prints on it wind up in her apartment with her blood on it, a few feet from her body?
I don't know. I don't know how he did it, but he did. John took the pen and planted it to set me up.
Set you up? For what purpose? Why would he do that? What is his motive? The last I remember is that it wasn't John Danes in the middle of a bitter and humiliating divorce with Nicole, and it wasn't John Danes who was having dinner with Amy right before she's murdered.
You need to listen to me. Please, you need to.
And you know, I never did ask, why were you having dinner with Miss Williams that night? Gee, I doubt she was here to do housework at that hour.
John set me up. He set me up.
Were you trying to play the grieving widow game on her?
No.
Did you think that was your best bet at winning her over? Well, I bet she saw right through you and stormed right out that door. It didn't make you feel good, did it?
No. It was nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Frank Irving, I'm arresting you for the murder of Amy Williams.
I'm telling you the truth, for the love of God.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. You cannot afford one. One will be provided for you.
You cannot do this. He stole it. He stole it. He set me up. I'm an innocent man.
I've got to tell you that I have been waiting for this from the moment I first met you. Come on, Doc, let's go.
It was John Danes. It was him. It was not me. He set me up. Damn it!
Ha ha ha!